In this video, I'm looking at how easy it is to propagate your own lavender plants from cuttings. When you're at somewhere like Blickling Hall, you can't help but be inspired by the different colour palettes and plantings around you. But for today, let's just focus on lavender. And welcome back to my garden. So let's have a look how we're going to take these lavender cuttings and increase the chances of these surviving into next year. First of all, you're going to need your lavender cutting. This is about the right size. You want something that's maybe 4 to 6 inches long. And all you want to do is just remove these bottom leaves. We don't need those. And it's going to make sure that it doesn't dry out. So the fewer leaves that you have, the better, but just make sure that you're keeping some of these ones on top. And what you also want to make sure you're doing is cutting just below a leaf node. This leaf node here is where the roots are going to come out from. And once you've got your trusty lavender cutting, you're going to need a pot about this size. I like to go with square ones because the plan for me is to put one lavender cutting per corner into the pot. If you place the cutting down into the edge of the pot, it increases the chance of the cutting rooting. And when you are taking cuttings, make sure you're going for one which isn't flowering. You can do it from one that's flowering, but chances are it will just take you a little bit longer to get it going. See, I can probably take off a few more leaves from here. In fact, I'm going to cut off a little bit more from this cutting. Just shorten it up a bit, always just below the leaf node to encourage rooting. And again, we just go into those corners. I don't always push these in all the way towards the edge. I like to have a little bit of compost between the cutting and the pot itself. That helps it keep moist so it doesn't dry out. Now that we've got the cutting into the pot, 4 in there, 1 per corner, it's part of what I think is possibly the most important stage, and that's ensuring that the cuttings stay nice and humid throughout the process. And a good way to do that is if you've just got a simple sandwich bag, you can pop it on top. But before you do that, just grab yourself one of these, and I like to spray the inside. That ensures that it's nice and moist before the cutting goes in. And the bag carefully over the top. And there we have it, 1 lavender cutting ready to go. And all I'm going to do now is put this somewhere warm but out of direct sunlight. And the best thing you can do is just keep on top of that humidity, make sure it's nice and moist and humid in there so that it doesn't dry out, because that's your worst enemy. And in 3 weeks time, fingers crossed, we'll have 4 new lavender plants which I can then plant out next year. As you can see, I've got some chard here which looks like it's just bolting. It's been struggling a little bit with the unpredictable weathers that we've had. So then I'm going to take this out now and replace it with some fresh seedlings. brassicas that are planted in this area seem to be quite happy and settling in. Touch wood, I don't seem to get so many slugs around this part as I do in other parts of the garden. I mean, it's been a very sluggy year, but I'm not here for the brassicas. I'm going to plant some chicories a little bit further down over there. And I have to say, this greenhouse, which is my first greenhouse, the original one, is doing really well. Plenty of tomatoes loading up on the plants, aubergines which are ready to pick, and also the cucumbers have just been incredible. A good supply each day. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed watching this video, do like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.